before I let go. Lonely, yeah. ABC, ABC. And young Taylor, strictly off before I let go. I need a more. Bum, 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 bum.
Hey, Donald, you can't take away our joy. That was a free concert in Washington, D.C., a protest concert against the Trump regime at 14th and U Street. A Go-Go's free concert right there. You gotta love it. You see how people are not letting the Trump regime bring them down despite a fascist takeover in Washington, D.C. You heard those chants, free D.C., free D.C. We see Trump's Gestapo throughout all of the main kind of tourist areas and college areas in D.C. We see them throwing people off of mopeds and beating migrants and people who look Latino to a pulp. It is so despicable to see. And then yesterday, Donald Trump gave this very bizarre speech. He assembled the military, who he called in Washington, D.C., and Trump wanted to act like a tough guy that he's beating down on like Uber Eats delivery people and like DoorDash people on mopeds who are just struggling to get by. So Donald Trump, he brings together a group of military people and he like cosplays being a general. It's like a really bizarre thing. Like he's pretending to be like a general or commander in Fallujah, but he's talking about sending troops against Americans. Here, watch this.
I just want to thank everybody very much for being here. I wanted to do this. We've had some incredible results. The results have come out. We're not playing games. We're going to make it safe. And we're going to then go on to other places. But we're going to stay here for a while. We want to make this absolutely perfect. It's our capital. People are now coming in. They're making reservations to come in. They want to be in Washington, D.C. One of the things we're going to be redoing is your parks. I'm very good at grass because I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world. And we're going to be regrassing all of your parks, all brand new sprinkler systems, the best that you can buy. I just think it's such an honor to be with you. And we're going to make Washington, D.C. great again. We're making our country great again. The country is very close to being great. When they say it's the hottest country in the world, they mean it. And this capital is right now, after 4 days, 5 days, it's at a level that you haven't seen in a long time, and it's all because of you. So I want to thank you all very much. It's an honor to be with you.
And what this reminded me, this cosplay routine of his, just so you see, like, let me show you like a real speech. This is in Afghanistan before a deadly push through Afghanistan with American troops. And here you'll see the commander of this group of troops like giving this kind of speech. But Trump thinks he's a tough guy by doing it against like college students and like just people who are like living in DC and like people who are just struggling to get by. Trump turns the military against his people. But this is the scene in Afghanistan I want to show you from like 15 or 16 years ago. I got this footage from. But Trump is doing this against Americans. Here, watch this.
The technical task to breathe fire has now been issued. Good to go. You will breathe fire day in and day out for the next 2 months. You will breathe fire in your sleep. You will feel fatigue. You will feel fear. You will feel happiness. You will feel regret. You will feel sadness. At the end of the day, you will continue to breathe fire.
So you saw that. Now, here's Donald Trump's speech again. He has the military in Washington, D.C. He's sending them to like Foggy Bottom and Logan Circle and Columbia Heights. You know, he's not even sending them to the areas where crime is a bit higher. Still, D.C. crime is far lower than any of these red states or red cities by far. And D.C. crime's at a 30-year low. But here is Trump's version of that speech. Trump's like, hey, everybody, I do lots of grass. Lots of grass at Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to do lots of sprinklers here in Washington. You guys like sprinklers? Here, play this clip.
Washington, D.C. One of the things we're going to be redoing is your parks. I'm very good at grass because I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world. And we're going to be regrassing all of your parks, all brand new sprinkler systems, the best that you can buy, just like Augusta. No, it'll look like Augusta. It'll look like, more importantly, Trump National Golf Club. That's even better. But we're going to have all brand new, beautiful grass. You know, like everything else, grass has a life. Do you know that? Grass has a life. You know, we have a life and grass has a life. And the grass here died about 40 years ago.
Again, this just looks so weak and pathetic. I don't care what political party you're from. As I watch this, I'm like, this is like a weak loser dude. Like, how do you give this guy power? It's so strange. Oh, and then Donald Trump talks. This is part of Donald Trump's speech to the military in D.C. He's like, I don't like wind. I don't like wind. Wind doesn't fire people. Did you know that wind doesn't fire people? Here, play this clip.
So all of these big factories that are being built are building their own electric plants fired by oil and gas. They're not fired by wind, by the way, because wind doesn't work, but we won't say that. It destroys everything. It looks terrible. It's a very expensive form of energy. And we're not doing wind. We're going back to fossil fuel. I hope not too many of you people are going to be upset, but we have to go back to what works. We can't be foolish.
And then, of course, Donald Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi that has to go on TV late yesterday night to act like, yeah, Donald Trump loves the sprinkler systems. He's so focused on sprinklers, man. You'll play this clip.
And he's also going to make America clean, as you were talking about earlier. The president is so excited about fixing up D.C. All new grass, sprinkler systems, our monuments, getting rid of the graffiti. And that's what people are loving.
All right, let's just show you what California Governor Gavin Newsom said yesterday after California's legislature passed the new maps, the vote to enable the new maps that's going to be on the ballot in November for California voters to support. Here's what California Governor Gavin Newsom had to say about Trump sending active duty military against Americans. Here, play this clip.
Masked men at the site of the Japanese were interned and bussed in Little Tokyo last week in Los Angeles were sent right there in front of the Democracy Center as we kicked off this effort. That's a preview of things to come all across the United States of America. Mark my word, just as we let folks know what was going to happen in other cities, what is happening in Washington, D.C., we said 2 months ago, Los Angeles is a preview of things to come with the federalization of the National Guard, with the militarization of the streets of America. And I'll remind you, Donald Trump never sent the military, active duty military, in his first term or now even his second term, anywhere overseas. He sent them to a United States city. They remain federalized National Guard, interestingly, through Election Day.
And here's what Governor Newsom says about enduring values in the United States. Let's play it.
Those enduring values that we celebrate, just celebrated 249 years, the best of the Roman Republic, Greek democracy, the rule of law, co-equal branches of government, popular sovereignty. What we'll celebrate, will we? Next year, the 250th anniversary.
And here's what Governor Newsom says about Donald Trump building his own personal like a personal Trump military. And that's what ICE is really about. Here, play this clip.
Masked men at the site of the Japanese were interned and bussed in Little Tokyo last week in Los Angeles were sent right there in front of the Democracy Center as we kicked off this effort. That's a preview of things to come all across the United States of America. Mark my word, just as we let folks know what was going to happen in other cities, what is happening in Washington, D.C., we said 2 months ago, Los Angeles is a preview of things to come with the federalization of the National Guard, with the militarization of the streets of America. And I'll remind you, Donald Trump never sent the military, active duty military, in his first term or now even his second term, anywhere overseas. He sent them to a United States city. They remain federalized National Guard, interestingly, through Election Day. $175 billion in the bill that was just signed to reinforce the ranks of ICE, Homeland Security, for what is increasingly becoming self-evident to anyone with eyes wide open and any level of objectivity, a private army for Donald Trump. Owing an oath only to him, not the Constitution of the United States. You just heard from the Speaker that vote-in-mail ballots are being threatened by the President of the United States. 80% of Californians, no coincidence, 80% submitted their ballots in the last election, 86% in 2022, 88 in 2020. He's trying to rig the election. He's trying to set up the conditions where he can claim that the elections were not one fair and square. Open your eyes to what is going on in the United States of America in 2025. That's what this is about.
And here Governor Newsom said, look, we're doing in California only because Texas did what it did. Donald Trump told Texas, you need to find me 5 seats. Just think about how fascist that is. And I love that Newsom's not mincing words. Here, play this clip.
They fired the first shot, Texas. We wouldn't be here had Texas not done what they just did. Donald Trump didn't do what he just did. He went so far as to follow up and say that he didn't just want those 5 seats. He said he's, quote unquote, entitled to those 5 seats. Just pause and reflect on that. Everything should have just stopped there. President of the United States claiming he's entitled to 5 seats. That should put chills up your spine. Every Republican, not just Democrat and Independent, every American.
Meanwhile, you have ICE advertising like this. Join ICE today. Defend the homeland. By the way, yesterday, the new outrage by the MAGA snowflakes was over the company Cracker Barrel. Apparently, Cracker Barrel changed its logo to remove like the photo of the man, and it just says Cracker Barrel, and that made MAGA really, really triggered. And so MAGA's like, we're boycotting Cracker Barrel because they removed the guy, and by removing the guy and the Cracker Barrel logo, you've gone woke. That's such a woke CEO thing to do. And according to New York Post, the stock price dropped $700 million. I've said this before, and I'm just going to repeat it again. I don't want to go down this Cracker Barrel rabbit hole, but it seems clear to me, or at least in my opinion, if you take a look at who's shorting the stock of Cracker Barrel, who is Cracker Barrel's competition, and what they have to gain to determine if there are any activist shareholders who are related to both Cracker Barrel and Cracker Barrel's competition, as I say, follow the money here and see who's making millions and millions of dollars off the fluctuations in stock prices when these things happen. By the way, I like some of the new Cracker Barrel logos. Release the Epstein files today. You should have released them in February, but let's see what the cover-up is today. We know they're going to not release the real files today. That's kind of a given. Or it's going to be heavily redacted. Or how about this? Gavin Newsom, Cracker Barrel. He's the new mascot. I mean, obviously, that's a joke. Have you seen this right here? Israeli military's own data indicates that the civilian death rate in the Gaza war is about 83%. Figures from a classified Israeli military intelligence database indicate 5 out of the 6 Palestinians killed by Israeli forces in Gaza have been civilians, an extreme rate of slaughter rarely matched in recent decades of warfare. But Donald Trump says, Bibi, do whatever you want, Bibi. Gaza's mine. I'm going to build hotels on Gaza. Remember when Donald Trump was sitting next to King Abdullah of Jordan back in February? And Trump says, I'm just going to take it. And the press is like, what do you mean you're going to take it? He's like, Gaza's mine. The Palestinians are going to all get out. I'm moving them out. It belongs to me now. And the corporate news was just like, okay, I guess that's Donald being Donald. And we would call that out. You have to call out Donald Trump's behavior right here. And then over here, just to be very clear, the United States markets are far underperforming global markets. Like, it's not even close right now. Trump may talk a tough game while he's out on the town reenacting Training Day, but the economic foundation that once made him strong is showing cracks. What economic foundation once made him strong? He screwed it up the first time. He mishandled COVID. He said like a miracle it was all going to go away. He added trillions and trillions of dollars to our debt. He's responsible for over 30% of all of America's debt. He was an absolute disaster in office. And so I'm not really sure how people remember this guy as good with the economy ever. He's bankrupted every business he's touched, almost every business he's touched. He's a loser. He's a fraud. He's a felon. He's a sexual abuser. Just wake up, people. Wake the hell up. It's weakness masquerading as strength. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. Thank you all so much for watching.